Okay, so when you think about German football, what comes to mind? For me, it's this absolute machine, right? 4 World Cups, a seemingly endless line of legendary players, a pipeline of talent that just consistently dominates on the world stage. So what is their secret? How do they do it?
What if I told you that so many of Germany's modern greats, the World Cup winners, the Champions League heroes, they all share this one thing in common? A secret connection that links guys like Manuel Neuer, Toni Kroos, and Mario Götze right from the very beginning of their careers.
And that secret? It's an award, the Fritz-Walter Medal. For almost every future star in the German system, this is the first major honor they receive. It's like a stamp that says, hey, pay attention to this kid, they're destined for greatness.
Now, you gotta understand who's behind this. Since 2005, the DFB, that's the German Football Association, has been giving this medal out to the absolute cream of the crop in youth football. It is the highest honor a young player in Germany can get, and believe me, the pressure that comes with it is huge.
I mean, just look at this list from the first few years. You've got Manuel Neuer snagging a silver medal in the very first year. Then there's Toni Kroos, gold. Mario Götze, gold. Marc-Andre ter Stegen won it twice. The track record is it's insane. This award doesn't just spot talent, it's practically a crystal ball for the future of the German national team.
And what happens after they win this medal? Well, their careers are just mind-blowing. These winners have gone on to lift literally every single major trophy in world football. We're talking World Cups, Champions Leagues, countless league titles, you name it, they've won it. It's an incredible testament to how good the DFB is at finding the next generation of legends.
So, why is it called the Fritz-Walter Medal? Well, it's named after an absolute icon, Fritz Walter himself. He was the captain of that legendary 1954 team that won Germany's very first World Cup. The DFB holds him up as a model to follow, the ultimate symbol of leadership and sportsmanship. A perfect hero.
Okay, so we have this picture, right? The DFB celebrating a flawless hero, churning out superstars, a story of incredible success. But what about the history of the organization itself? Because behind all those glittering trophies and all those medals lies a past that is way more complicated and honestly, deeply, deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah, we've got to go back and talk about the German Football Association during the Third Reich. And this is a story not about heroes, but about conformity and complicity.
To really get what went down, you have to know this one German word, Selbstgleichschaltung. It's a mouthful, I know, but it basically translates to self-Nazification. It describes this chilling phenomenon where organizations, including the DFB, literally tripped over themselves to fall in line with Nazi ideology. And this is the crazy part. They did it willingly, often without any direct orders.
And you won't believe how fast this all happened. In late 1932, the DFB is making plans for a modern professional league. Just a few months later, Hitler's in power and boom, that plan is toast. By April of '33, clubs were already deciding on their own to ban Jewish members, and within just a few years, the DFB had become a tool of the Nazi state, until it was eventually dissolved and swallowed whole in 1940.
And this wasn't just some boring administrative change. This conformity had a real, devastating human cost.
So how do they do it? The main tool was something called the Aryer paragraph, or the Aryan paragraph. Football clubs all over Germany just started adding these clauses to their own rules, systematically purging Jewish players, coaches, and officials from the game they loved.
And the stories are they're gut-wrenching. Take Julius Hirsch. This guy wasn't just some player, he was a star for the German national team. He was kicked out of his club, persecuted for being Jewish, and was ultimately murdered in Auschwitz. But the tragedy was doubled. As this quote says, he wasn't just killed, he was erased. He vanished from collective football memory for decades.
So when you put it side by side, the contrast is just, wow. In the 1930s, the DFB was expelling its own members because of their race. Today, its mission is all about promoting diversity. It once embraced Nazi ideology, today it actively fights anti-Semitism. And maybe most importantly, after decades of burying its own past, it has finally started to take a hard look at it.
So that brings us to the modern day. How does an organization like the DFB even begin to confront a past like this? How do you balance the glory with the shame?
Well, the honest answer is, for a really long time, they just didn't. For decades after the war, there was just silence. The DFB's role between 1933 and 1945 was a closed chapter, a story that nobody wanted to tell.
But then, around the 2000s, things finally started to shift. The DFB actually opened up its archives and let independent historians dig in and uncover the whole truth. And in a really powerful move, they created the Julius Hirsch Prize, named for the very same player they let the world forget, to honor people in clubs who were fighting the exact same kind of hatred that led to his murder.
And that really leaves us with this huge, complicated question, doesn't it? The DFB gives out a medal named for Fritz Walter, the perfect hero, while also giving out a prize named for Julius Hirsch, its most tragic victim. It just goes to show you that the history of any great institution is never black and white. It's a mix of glory and oblivion. And the real challenge is to never let the celebration of one completely erase the memory of the other.